Gas man, what up? Shop, what's good? I've been wanting to do this. Hope everybody's still up tonight, man. Shout out to the gas man in the chat. KT2 the GOAT. B Walker, what it do? Yeah, Hawks got beat by 50. Like, they ain't got no love. New top viewer. Price to the Seahawks. Man. DCan, Facebook, YouTube, kicking Twitch. YouTube is your new home. We monetize on YouTube, so for sure, you definitely get them over there. EJ, what's good? All right, let's get into tonight's topic. Earlier, we went over some of the new things happening in Nashville. Peter Skoronski signing his 5th-year tender. Going to be worth $20 million, $19 million next season. So his money is locked in, which we all figured the Tennessee Titans would do. Then they'd be able to give him more time to work on the deal for Pete, who's one of the best left guards in the NFL. But let's look at the AFC South as a whole. You know, Tennessee Titan fan base is not the largest, so sometimes you have to reach out into your division to have content to draw from that's not just the same old regurgitated. You know, I see, you know, people put out content and it's pretty much the same content over and over and over and over. So away from me to make sure the content is fresh, let's go over the biggest winners and losers in the AFC South. Yeah, I like what the Saints did. They showed that they have a lot of trust in Tyler Shough and Kellen Moore's offense. after losing Shaheed, they had to go out and make a splash. And maybe we can go through every other division in the NFL too, day to day. But today we're going to start in the AFC South. You said NFC South team, so I just had it in my head. But who I think is the biggest loser in the AFC South this offseason, and don't shoot the messenger, Jacksonville Jaguars. The heart of their defense, Devin Lloyd, escapes them. This is what happens when you get off the rookie deal and you pay your quarterback. They gave up their first round pick last year to the Browns to go get Travis Hunter, who unfortunately got injured. And they flirted all offseason with trading Brian Thomas Jr. They didn't trade him. They traded for Jacoby Myers, who they targeted more in the playoffs than Brian Thomas Jr., who's a better receiver. I'd easily say Brian Thomas Jr. is the best receiver on their team. Parker Washington has emerged, but they got to make up their mind if they want to put Travis Hunter on offense or defense. He wants to play both. I don't think it's possible. You lose Travis Etienne, one of the league's best running backs. You replace him with Chris Rodriguez Jr., and who they drafted last year was Basil Tootin. And they lost Bigsby to the Eagles, so you got LaQuint Allen Jr. and DJ Dallas behind them. They had one of the better backups in the league, and you wind up losing Mac Jones. Signs a 2-year, $5 million deal with the 49ers. I don't know how the Jaguars didn't give him $5 million for 2 years. And then you got Brenton Strange and offensive line, who they've let a few of their big name guys go and try to replace them over the last couple of years. A rotational tackle that wound up getting a deal for them. And the defense of the Jaguars, which I feel like won them the division last year. Now with Jordan Lewis, Montarik Brown, Antonio Johnson, Eric Murray, Travis Hunter, I just don't see that as promising as it once was. Once you got to start paying people and they leave. Travon Walker and Josh Hines Allen scream off the edge. Art Armstead is a veteran. A really good veteran. Forsythe Aluakin, Ventrell Miller stepping in for Devin Lloyd and Jack Kaiser. So let's look at their draft. We knew coming into the draft that the Jaguars had lost their first round pick to the Browns to get Travis Hunter. So no first round pick. They go tight end with Nate Borkacher, which that kind of surprised me with them having Brenton Strange, losing Evan Ingram, but going back into the well. And your first pick in the draft, pick 24 in the second round, was tight end. Then they went D tackle with Albert Regis. Emmanuel Pregnon, one of my favorite offensive linemen in this year's draft. I think he'll turn out to be a pretty good player for the Jaguars. Jalen Husky at cornerback, Wesley Williams edge, another tight end, Tanner Kazoil, Josh Cameron and CJ Williams, back-to-back receivers, another edge, Zach Durfee, and linebacker from Middle Tennessee, Parker Hughes. Now, if I got any Jaguar fans in the chat, I'm going to easily say I think Emmanuel Pregnon is the best player that y'all drafted. And just looking at it, the first pick that they had was tight end when you got Brenton Strange, who had played pretty good coming in. So your second and third string tight ends are guys that you drafted this year. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with this team. I just don't think it's any way that's going to be more pressure on Trevor Lawrence, the $276 million man. I don't see any way that this roster got any better. I think this roster didn't even tread water. I honestly think this roster went backwards this year. And if they do wind up trading Brian Thomas Jr., maybe that's the the catalyst for them getting future draft picks to try to like push themselves back at the top of the division. But I just don't see the Jacksonville Jaguars team getting any better with this draft and this offseason. It seemed like they got worse. Losing one of the best linebackers in the league and not figuring out what they want to do with Brian Thomas Jr. Can't be good for the locker room. So I'll be interested to see, can the Jacksonville Jaguars return to form? They had them at the top of the AFC South. I don't see it. I think they regress this year. All right. Let me check the chat. Make sure I get caught up on the comments. Jokic been playing chippy all playoffs, Rabbit. You were trying to say Jadarian Price. What you thought of that pick? Travis going to be nice for us. Yeah, ETN to the Saints, along with the receivers and the tight end that they got dealt from Georgia. That a huge boost to the Saints offense. Made it over. Travis Hunter not playing offense. But I mean, that's what they brought him there for, is to let him, be a dynamic player, and that's what he wanted. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. All right, so let's go to the team in the division I thought had the second worst offseason and draft. All right. Next, I'll go with the Indianapolis Colts. And a big reason for this Indianapolis Colts is the way they handled this quarterback situation this offseason just weirded me out. Daniel Jones basically forced their hand into getting $50 million guaranteed, coming off of a broken bone and an Achilles. I just don't see how a quarterback with no guaranteed money forced their hand. So they're all in on Daniel Jones to say that he's going to make 100% recovery and return to form where the Colts were 8-1 last year at the top of the AFC, right? We've seen Daniel Jones do this to a roster before. He did it to the Giants. They weren't able to retain Saquon Barkley. They went down. They wound up getting rid of him. The Colts got him for cheap. And just when he was about to turn the corner with the Colts having a great year, he got injured. Now, I've seen this before. We've seen guys get hurt mid-season, like Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill. You've seen it happen where this guy may not be 100% to play football at the season start. In the NFL, we seen Kirk Cousins come back and rush back from an injury and watch him go on a 6-week stretch where he didn't score a touchdown and he had a handful of turnovers. And it took him to the end of the season before he was able to, with games off with Penix playing, for him to get back into the groove. Daniel Jones leans on his athleticism, his ability to move and escape. It's going to be interesting that he held them hostage and that they traded 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner that looked like an all-in move at the time that left them another team in the division that didn't have a first-round draft pick this year after having a pretty good draft. Then Anthony Richardson is on the last year of his rookie deal. He requests a trade. Well, there's no trade. Riley Leonard, who they could have been getting quality reps last year, they were out of desperation, brought in Phillip Rivers, which took snaps away from Riley Leonard. So now you don't know truly what you have in Riley Leonard as QB2. Similar to Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers not getting Will Howard the snaps when Aaron Rodgers came out. And then they go back to the well and draft Drew Aller, not knowing truly what Will Howard has. All right, so the meat and potatoes of the Colts offense, as a person that watches a lot of Indianapolis Colts in the AFC South, is Jonathan Taylor. This guy had 9 touchdowns in 3 games versus Titans. And going behind him, DJ Giddens, Seth McGowan, Ulysses Bentley IV. Alec Pierce, can he step in to be that number one receiver. I know a lot of people have questions about Carnell Tate, but Alec Pierce, 40 some odd catches, 1,000 yards. This guy is a yard per catch monster. But Michael Pittman Jr. was the number one on that team. So it's going to be interesting to see with that $30 million payday over his head. Can he be the guy for Daniel Jones? A lot of Titan fans was thinking if it was around $25 million that we should take a shot at Alec Pierce. And I was confused that people that didn't like us drafting Carnell Tate but wanted to give Alec Pierce $30 million. So it's it's essentially the same role. The big play, 6'3" guy on the outside that's gonna dunk. So let's see if Alec Pierce can handle the load. Laquan Treadwell and Ashton Doolin behind him. Josh Downs, I think, is an underrated receiver. And now you got Deion Burks from Oklahoma, the speedster, that needs to work on his route running, along with the Honda, former Tennessee Titan legend Nick Westbrook-Akene as the other starting receiver. And I don't see any names over here that gives them depth. They traded A.D. Mitchell to the Jets last year, along with the Jets was trading for everybody, players that needed a fresh start. Got a couple off the Titans as well. But Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and Nick Westbrook-Akene is a big step backwards from having Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and A.D. Mitchell that started last year. So that's why I feel like this going in reverse. Tyler Warren is a dog. Mo Alley Cox is a dog. Colts have always had a pretty good offensive line, so I'm not really concerned about what they got going on the O-line. They got JT and Latu at edge. Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner are good veterans. But then when I look behind and see Arden Key has played on the Jaguars, the Titans, and now the Colts. He's the AFC hat trick. He just needs to go to the Texans. I don't see anything in in the reserves that scare me as far as depth. We all know that Zaire Franklin left the Colts this year, and they replaced him with a really good one. C.J. Allen, Davis Gaither, John Bullock, E.J. Speed, and Zaire Franklin held it down for the Colts for years. Now we got to see if C.J. Allen can hold down the fort for a team that was always really hard to run on. Even when we had Derrick Henry, it was hard to run on Zaire Franklin and Speed and the boys. Sauce Gardner, can he return to form? Thomas, Bynum, Charvarius Ward, who's a dog when healthy. And then Kenny Moore asked for a trade. So still got to wait to see what happens. I think Kenny Moore is one of the better nickels in the league. I just seeing the same thing with the Jaguars and the Colts. Trying to figure the quarterback situation out, you wind up losing key players to your team. And the depth just doesn't look good as it once did for the Colts last year, who were 8-1 halfway through the season. So let's look at their draft. C.J. Allen, who I thought was a really good first pick for them, with them not having a first round pick. A.J. Halsey, safety out of LSU, a much needed position for them. Then they go offensive guard with Jalen Farmer from Kentucky, Bryce Botcher from Oregon, a linebacker. Definitely trying to shore up their linebacker core. George Gums Jr. out of Florida, Caden Curry out of Ohio State, Seth McGowan from Kentucky. They went back to the Ohio State edge 2 years in a row. And then their last pick I thought was a good solid pick, Deion Burks. I think he'll make their 53. And what better person to learn from than Downs. So you look at the draft, I like their first couple of picks. I like that they threw some edge and some skill position players out there, but the Indianapolis Colts just don't look as solid of a team as it was last year. I think Colts is always a good team, though. A tough out for any team on Sunday. The Colts is a team that could lose to the worst team in the league, but beat the best. The Colts are the Colts. It's all going to really contend down to how does Daniel Jones recover? Because with no Anthony Richardson, if they do trade him, and Riley Leonard with limited snaps that he got last year, you kind of don't know what you got. it's all gonna come down to can Daniel Jones come back and play better than he did last year with a less supporting role. Because you can't tell me that this isn't less formidable coming in with Alec Pierce, Nick Westbrook, and Josh Downs coming into a game than what they've been in the past. So I'm going to say Indianapolis Colts had the second worst offseason. And then I think, if I'm being fair, I'm going to show y'all one thing about me. I am not a biased person. I do not see with two-tone blue colored glasses. The team in the AFC South that scared me in this offseason was the Houston Texans. I troll the Texans a lot, but we know what the Houston Texans defense is. And a lot of players that Titan fans wanted to get this offseason, the Houston Texans went and snatched up. I'm going to be fair. Unc is an honest person. I am unbiased. And for whatever CJ Stroud did in that AFC playoff game against the Patriots, where it felt like if he would have just took knees, they would have won. Or maybe that Davis Mills should have came in and give him a boost off the bench, who's one of the better backups in the league. Moving on from Joe Mixon. Moving on from from Nick Chubb. Woody Mark stepped in and was a pretty solid secondary back. And you put David Montgomery with him. This is the great value version of David Montgomery and Gibbs. Woody Marks is a solid running back. I still think that they might need a third guy. I don't know much about Jordan and British books, but I will say Nico Collins, unlike L'Jarius Sneed, I will say I know exactly who Nico Collins is. And his backup, Xavier Hutchinson, was and Jaden Higgins, I thought played pretty good last year. And they should have Tank Dell back, CJ Stroud's favorite target, along with Noel. I think they got a good young core with when you got Nico Collins, Higgins, and Tank Dell on the field, and you coming off the bench with Hutchinson and Noel. Dalton Schultz got hurt in the playoffs, but then they got Foster Moreau and Marlon Klein, who is on my draft board as one of the big physical tight ends out of the Big Ten. Solid set of tight ends right there. And then, you know, they had Ursery. They've been trying to rebuild this offensive line that was getting CJ killed the year before. But Keelan Rutledge is an offensive lineman that I think the Titans was going to draft at 35. Texans jump up in front of us and snatch him, along with the guy who we all wanted to play right guard if we could not bring Kevin Zeitler back, which is Wyatt Teller. The two guards that the Tennessee Titans had primarily marked that all the fans and all the media wanted to get went to the division rival Houston Texans. So I know CJ Stroud is smiling because he has two of the better guards that you're going to see flanking him on the interior line. Can Ursery and Braden Smith step up and hold the edges down for CJ Stroud? Obviously, the Bama boy Will Anderson Jr. with the big paycheck, Daniil Hunter with the big paycheck. Then they had Sheldon Rankins and Tommy T, and they went out, and we're going to get into it, and got Caden McDonald, who a lot of people feel like it's the nastiest D tackle in the draft. Somebody that's just like going to be trench warfare. Then you look at Toa Toa, who's an athletic linebacker next to Aziz Al-Shire, Titans legend. They drafted Woodez, and they had Mapu. EJ Speed coming over, former Colt. It's something about teams and players that be in the AFC South that kind of wind up rotating. It's like the guy you hate playing against, but you want on your team. That's what you get a lot of in the AFC South. A lot of former Titans, Colts, Jaguars, and Texans. Reed Blankenship, a veteran safety. Derek Stingley Jr., who's one of the best corners in the league. You got Kalen Bullock, who's a dog at safety, along with Kamari Lassiter and Jalen Petrie. We know that there's no weaknesses on this Texan defense. And when you seen them go in the draft and load in. I think the only weakness when I look at the Texans is Kami Fairbairn. He might shank a 20-yard kick. But let's look at what the Texans did in the draft. Obviously, like I said, I felt like they snatched Keelan Rutledge, offensive guard. A lot of Titan fans was after. Trench warfare for the Texans to turn right around and take arguably the best D tackle in this year's draft. Then follow that up with a baby Gronk and Marlon Klein. And then they go offensive guard again to double down behind Keelan Rutledge. Letting y'all know the Houston Texans want to load the trenches. Wade Wooders, a linebacker from Clemson, Kamari Ramsey, safety from USC, Lewis Bond, wide receiver from Boston College, and Aiden Fisher, linebacker from Indiana. So they're telling y'all that the middle of the offense and defense is where the Texans spent a good bit of their draft capital in offseason. And I gotta be fair. I think the Houston Texans are the favorite in the AFC South because of that defense and because of their commitment to trying to fix the problems they had on the offensive line. Solid running back play, getting all their receivers back healthy, adding a few more weapons for CJ Stroud. It just comes down to, can CJ Stroud hold it together? That seems to be a common thread. Trevor Lawrence got the $276 million. He's going to be asked to do more. Then you got Daniel Jones, demanded to get the guaranteed money. He got it. He's going to be asked to do more with less. And then the one who actually got more this year was CJ Stroud. And if CJ Stroud does not succeed this year, he has nobody to blame but himself, because they have spent a good bit of capital trying to fix his offensive line. The defense is what it is in Houston. So, it just comes down to, like, in the big games, can CJ Stroud hold it together and make plays? There will be no excuses for CJ Stroud in this upcoming season. All right, now let me catch up on the chat a little bit before we move forward. You probably touched up on this, Buddha, but what do you think about Nick Singleton? I love Nick Singleton. He was on my draft board. If anybody's seen my day 3 draft coverage, Pat Coogan and Nick Singleton were high on my board that I wanted to get on day 3. I think when you don't get Jeremiah Love, I think people can sleep a lot better at night knowing that we got Nick Singleton, because Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears are on their last year. I still say Titans got a lot of money. You got Khalil Mullins, Nick Singleton, Tajay Spears, and Tony Pollard. Najee Harris is still out there. I still would like to go load that running back room up for the future. When you know your running back 1 and 2 that we have currently at this point are not going to be on the roster next year. Favorite pick outside of Tate? We all love Anthony Hill Jr., but I have this rearing feeling deep down that Pat Coogan is going to be the starting center for the Tennessee Titans. And I think Keldrick Falk is a lot better than people think. Looking rough for the wide receivers. Yeah, it is. Jags draft was not good. Chargers did you see Justin Herbert running for his life last year? Hardly working. Infinite. Yeah, Texans loading up in the trenches is scary. What about the Seahawks? It's hard to repeat. The Seahawks don't have a whole lot of holes, but I think the Seahawks are gonna compete, but I can't see them having a repeat. Too much gotta go right. Everybody gotta stay healthy. And I think y'all did a good job trying to replace and repair, hold it together, get to the playoffs and see what happens. The core of the Seahawks is young too, so CJ gonna choke again? I can't say that, because just when we think somebody gonna choke, everybody thought that Sam Darnold was gonna choke again, and then he won the Super Bowl. Texans is paper chance. But you got to be fair though. The Texans, talent wise, is the best team in the AFC South. I think the Texans got the best defense in the AFC. It belonged to the Houston Texans. Their offense just got in the way. Singleton gonna run with a chip on his shoulder. The problem is if we don't move Tony Pollard's gonna be due $9 million next season. I'm not sure that Tony Pollard getting $9 million, they ain't gonna run him in the dirt. I don't know. Maybe Nick Singleton can beat out Tajay Spears for a running back too, and then maybe get his feet wet a little bit in special teams too. But it's gonna be tough because, like I said, Pollard is due $9 million with only 2 guaranteed, and Tajay is on a contract year. So Nick Singleton is gonna be fighting for reps with 2 running backs that are on contract years. My hope for Nick Singleton is he finds his way into running back 2 and he gets 5 to 8 touches a game as a rookie and starts making the most of it, kind of like Travion Henderson did for the Patriots, kind of like Woody Marks did for the Texans, and find himself providing value to the team where you can't take him off the field. Thoughts on Brinker stepping down? I think a lot of stuff was going on in their front office that is solidified that we had Burke Nahill, Chad Brinker, Mike Bergonzi, Dave Ziegler, and Reggie. We got 5 GMs that's in the front office. At some point, the stadium is the final beams is up. That's all but done. You got the New Jersey reveal. Mike Bergonzi had 2 good off seasons in a row. Seemed like they got the coaching hires figured out. It's time for Chad Brinker to move into a role where he's going to have diminishing power over the years. So if he wants a chance to try to be a GM, this is his best chances to get out now. Yeah, y'all lost the end game players. So it's like the camaraderie y'all had is going to be hard to... It's hard to do it 2 years in a row. Everything in the world gonna be against y'all. Everything that could go wrong this past year went right. Y'all won a Super Bowl. So it's only natural that this year everything that can go right go wrong. And they just gotta have some perseverance because the Seahawks have a very young team. I like the core that y'all got with Spoon and JSN. It was smart to let K9 go and draft a running back too. Tate got number 14. But you got to respect Tony Pollard 4 straight years, 1,000 yards. And you guys see the offense and the line he been running with, he still been getting 1,000. Now, he don't have the juice that you would want, but he's still a solid back. And like I said, nobody trading to take on his $9 million. Best case scenario, I said, a lot of people didn't like it, is cut Tony Pollard, save the $7 million, go bring in Najee Harris to mix with your young running backs. You'll have Nick Singleton and Khalil Mullins and Tajay Spears, along with Najee. And Najee was on Bama with Dabo, so it's a way to save some bread. Could you see us trading Ridley or Pollard at the trade deadline? Ridley more likely because they restructured Reed. Pollard is if you cut him, you only eat $2 million. I don't see anybody trading for Pollard if they got to take on the money. We have to eat some of the contract to trade Pollard. Now Reed, let's say the Titans get off to a good start and Ty Montgomery make the team. And you got Chimere Dike, Elo Iomana, KJ Osborne, Bryce Oliver, and Xavier Restrepo with Carnell Tate and Wan'Dale Robinson. It could be a situation like how it was with D-Hop, where he just wasn't. We get to a point in the year where he's not getting used. And it's a team like, let's say the Rams would trade to have Ridley as their 3rd receiver, or a team like that. That could make sense. But I don't see nobody trading for him, Ocho, man. I love Jadarian Price. Will Levis to the Bucks or the Jets. Jets drafted Klubnik. I thought more teams would try to get Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, because some of the guys that these teams drafted, I just don't see I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Cardinals, Carson Beck has a chance to improve and get better as a QB, but he got Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew with Carson Beck. Before I gave Jacoby Brissett $10-15 million, I'd trade and have Will Levis or Anthony Richardson fight it out with Carson Beck. That's just me. You know, like if I'm the Jets and I got 3 first-rounders next year, like what would it hurt to have Geno, K. Klubnik, and get Anthony Richardson or Will Levis? I could see a day 3 pick for Ridley. Now that he restructured, like top of day 3, yeah. Like a contingent, like if he comes and he plays a certain percentage of snaps, the same way we had with D-Hop. We traded D-Hop for a 5th round that could turn for a 4th, or Draymond, we traded for a 5th round that could turn to a 4th. Yeah, Tristan, I need to get up there to Nashville, bro. You say you don't like Almana? But I mean, you got to think, he's a rookie 4th round pick that was asked to be wide receiver 1 on the offense that, like, why would you be critical of Alec Almana as a rookie who is at the top of the receivers in statistics when Tyler Lockett got $4 million for 7 catches and 70 yards and then walked out on the team? Almana was better than Van Jefferson. Was better than Mason Kinsey. Reed started off the year dropping a lot of passes. The Titans receivers had 8 confirmed drops in the first game against the Broncos on the road. I think Almana and DK did great as receivers asked to be wide receiver 1s and 2s when the veterans in front of them fell off a cliff. You know, that's just my own part. It'd be different if Almana was drafted where Carnell Tate is. Now, if Carnell Tate's numbers look like Almana or DK's this season, I'd be disappointed. But these guys were 4th round picks. Like DK broke a record and was a Pro Bowler. Almana had as many receiving yards and touchdowns in any receiver on the team. Collectively, they was the best rookie wide receiver duo in franchise history as far as statistics. Then you drafted Gunnar Helm, who turned into tight end 1 by the end of the season, who broke the rookie reception record. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, like in the 4th round, you got guys that had to do way more than what they should have been asked to do as rookies, because Calvin Ridley was supposed to get $28 million coming into this season. You just let Nick Westbrook go to the Dolphins. Now he's on the Colts. He had 9 touchdowns the year before as a guy coming off the bench. It's big shoes to fill when Tyler Lockett, a veteran, getting $4 million guaranteed, is supposed to come in, but he only got 7 catches for 70 yards. So I say Almana and DK held it down. Like, Almana should be the new Nick Westbrook. I think that's just a lot. I think he hit a wall too. Like, you in college playing a 12-game season, and then you playing 18 weeks, 17 games in the NFL, asked to be a number 1 wide receiver. Oh, for sure, Tristan. Easy, what up? That's what I'm saying, Joe Blacko. Like, the Titans had guys who ceiling was special teams on the roster, when we should have guys who Almana and DK floor is special teams. KJ Osborne floor is special teams. You see what I'm saying? You now got Carnell Tate, Calvin Ridley, Wandale, DK, Almana, KJ Osborne, Tyron Montgomery, Bryce Oliver, and Restrepo. That is completely different talent-wise than what they was asked to do last year with a rookie quarterback, with a coach. Y'all got to remember, we all knew that Brian Callahan was going to get fired week 3. Imagine being a rookie and your coach get demoted and fired a month into the season. You got a whole new set of people telling you what to do, a whole new philosophy. You trying to learn on the fly. Calvin really break his leg and go out for the season. And there's games where we had Van Jefferson and Mason Kinsey starting with James Prochet in the slot. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot to ask for. Yeah, I mean, Lockett made sense coming into the draft that when you got Cam Ward and get him a veteran in the slot, and the thought process was they're going to have Calvin Ridley. They're going to bring back NWI. They're going to have Lockett in the slot, draft a couple guys, and it just didn't work out. And then Brian Callahan has shown that every person that got away from him got better when he left. You say you don't think but you not. Just do me a favor and like whatever you think about A.O. Monter, take a receiver who was drafted at the bottom of the 4th round and let number 1 cornerbacks guard him for a season. There's a reason why he's not getting separation. The guy that's supposed to be receiver 4 or 5 is your 1 trying to get separation on number 1 corners in the NFL. So just think about our division. That means that he's got Derek Stingley Jr. on him, Sauce Gardner guarding him on Sundays. Week 1, if you putting him out there and really struggling, and A.O. Monter is your 1, Pat Surtain is guarding him. Week 2, it's the Rams. Week 3, it's the Colts and the Texans. Like, I don't know what you expect for a rookie receiver with Derek Stingley Jr. on him. Like, what kind of separation is he supposed to get? Fitzgerald's son make the team? Not sure. Cam Ward gonna mesh well with Tate for sure. I think Dabo is going to get the offense in a completely different spectrum. Undrafted free agents. I actually made a post about it. The 4 that I think I'd like to see, but they cut 6 people. Maybe they make a spot for the 5th, because last year coming into the original 53, Tennessee Titans had 11 offensive linemen. So if I'm sticking to the code of what Bergonzi would like to do, I'll show you the guys these are the guys that I would like to see. Wide receiver Tyron Montgomery, Latrell McCutcheon, senior cornerback from Houston, Shaw Banks, a hard-hitting linebacker from UTSA, and then Bishop Fitzgerald, who's a ball hawking safety from USC. And my 5th person, who they wind up cutting 6 people, so he's gonna have space. Emil Wagner is an offensive tackle that plays right tackle from Notre Dame. Put him as my 5th because I don't know how much developing Crenshaw Dixon has done. I know that they've been trying to develop Crenshaw Dixon. We all thought that they would bring Oli Udoh, who was the best swing tackle back from last year, but I didn't see them bring him back. They brought back Austin Deculus as the swing. So right now it's Austin Deculus and Brandon Crenshaw Dixon as the swings. Maybe, just maybe, that Emil Wagner can fight his way into that rotation and become the backup right tackle behind J.C. Latham that could work his way into being a swing tackle. We all remember the Corey Levins and the Dennis Kellys of the world, the guys that just seemed like they were on our offensive line for a decade and could play any position. Yeah, Lockett was cooked when he got to Tennessee. Ravens, Joe, 7 catches for 70 yards for $4 million. Ooh. He said, I heard that undrafted safety should have been. Yeah, but you got to think, like, some of these guys probably didn't test well. Some of these guys didn't interview well. And from what Bergonzi has drafted, he's drafting people that were team captains or people that were like the heart and soul of the team's locker room to try to build a better culture in Nashville. So, you know, on that end, you gotta respect it. And then for y'all that didn't get to see earlier, I did go and make an updated roster. Anthony Hill Jr. at middle backer, pushing Cody Barton down next to Cedric Gray and James Williams with Mamadou Diabate. He got a tongue twister for a name. Jermaine Johnson, Kendrick Falk, female of Dejo, Jalen Harrell, and Jacob Martin at edge. Obviously, Taylor and Flott, Marcus Harris, Michael Robinson, Josh Williams. Big Jeff, JFM, Solomon, Jordan Elliott, the new draft pick, Jackie Marshall, Winston, Hook, Tony Adams, and Jarek Reed. I'd like to see these undrafted free agents get in and add some depth. I think the Tennessee Titans need depth at the safety position. I think safety and cornerback are the two places that, you know, if Bishop Fitzgerald gets here and McCutcheon gets here, and then they go out and sign some more vets to just be in spell roles, I don't want to be in a position like we was in last year where the Tennessee Titans secondary is just so thin. This is how I see the offense reeling out. Dan Moore, Pete, who just got his 5th-year option today, $19 million in 27. Pat Coogan, Jackson Slater, J.C. Latham. We don't know if Kevin Zeitler is coming back, but Deculus, Volson, Slotman, Carmona, and then Crenshaw Dixon. That's why I say Emil Wagner could fit himself in as number 11. I don't think Dellinger will be there. Gunnerhelm, Bellinger. I think DMR is going to fight for that 4th tight end spot. And I think Jaron Kanek and Khalil Mullins, because both of these guys are built-in linebackers. When you play 3 years of linebacker at Oklahoma and 3 years of linebacker at Michigan before they change their positions to offense, both of these guys are going to be special team superstars. Pollard, Singleton, Spears, and Mullins as your running backs. Michael Carter and Julius Chestnut to the practice squad. With Carnell Tate, Reed, Wandale, DK, Ailmana, KJ Osborne, Bryce Oliver, Restrepo, and I hope Tyron Montgomery makes it onto the roster. I think that kid got a chance to like we were just having a conversation of once Ridley is moved on, you'd like to see him and Ailmana fight for the other spot opposite of Carnell Tate, because once again, looking at this roster compared to the ones we had the last 2 years, this is one where you see guys, their floor is special teams. Like your special teams wide receivers right now would be like Tyron Montgomery, KJ Osborne, Bryce Oliver, Restrepo. These are guys that if you put them on the field, they can make catches and get open. This ain't Mason Kinsey. No disrespect, James Prochet played pretty good in his role, but the Van Jeffersons and Tyler Lockett's that we had last year, it's time to move on and put some talent onto the field. Yeah, Jalen Harrell played well down the stretch, and then you put Jacob Martin in that role. And people forget how fast that Jermaine Johnson was coming out of the combine. That is your speed edge rusher is Jermaine Johnson. People think of him as just power coming off of that surgery, but if he returned himself back to form, like that is your speed rusher. Becker was good. Hopefully, John. Yo, my dog CLE in the building. What's good, my boy? We just going over the AFC South. I think the Texans right now on paper look like they had to like they are the team to beat in the AFC South. I think the Titans got better. I think the Jaguars and the Colts got worse this offseason. Mason Kinsey need to just go ahead and be in media or be a coach. He said, don't sleep on our coaching staff. If this team click, we're going to give the Texans a run for their money. But the Texans have been making the playoffs, and they got the best defense in the AFC. So I'm not saying like the Texans is like far and away better than the Titans. I'm saying like as it sits, a good year for the Titans is 500 football. And let's see where we at. I think the Titans' floor is rising. But to just think that in a 17 game season, with us still having question marks in a new system, I think we'll compete. But to just think we finna overthrow the Texans is like, I don't know. I gotta be unbiased and say I gotta put my two-tone glasses to the side while I'm having that conversation. Do you think Pat will start at center? And do you think? I think he does. I mean, Micah Robinson is like a special teamer. I didn't see much from him last year. I mean, you gotta think. Let me put this in perspective. Cheeto Bell Wouzier gets cut. We don't know last year coming into the season if L'Jarius Sneed is going to play or not. Jarvis Brownlee Jr. has the fake boot on and gets traded. We got Darrell Baker Jr., Marcus Harris, Samuel Womack, Kairi Long, Keedrain Callaghan, Sanusi Kane, Eric Hallett, Jalen Armar Davis. Like, bruh. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can't get back in their position. All those people I just named, Michael Robinson didn't play over. So that should tell you a little something. He was good on special teams, but if all those names I just threw out and he couldn't find his way onto the field, even in the 49er game, we had 3 safeties go down where they was just like, you know, we put Kendall Brooks out there and they was talking about how he was working at Pizza Hut before he put on the tight jersey. Like, no disrespect, that's a great story. Bro, write a book, I'll buy it. That's a true persevering story. But I'm being honest and saying, like, if he couldn't find his way on the field with those names I just had, I think McCutcheon could find himself as that 5th or 6th corner. I really wish we would have brought back Darrell Baker Jr. because he's cheap and he was a person we knew we could count on, and he's a good locker room guy. But we let the Dolphins snatch him up. So I think my 5 that I got undrafted free agent, I think they make the team. It's like Shaw Banks, the linebacker, like he's trying to beat out Dorian Mausi. Come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro's in the dough. But I think Pat Coogan starts. Austin Slopeman, you know what you got. I think Pat Coogan. Y'all been seeing me holler Pat Coogan for months and months and months. For us to draft him is like. And then when people talk about athleticism, bro, like Aaron Brewer was the smallest guard in the NFL and turned into a Pro Bowl center. People talk about, oh, y'all drafted him late. Ben Jones was the best center that I can remember in the last decade or more of Titans. He was a 4th round pick from Georgia. Like, people don't pick centers in the 1st round. People don't pick centers high. Like, y'all seen Pat Coogan, Brock Myers, Sam Heck. A lot of good centers was still on the board pretty much the whole draft. You know, so for us to get Pat Coogan, I think Pat Coogan with Pete next to him, and then whether they want to bring back Zietler or put Jackson Slater in that role or Carmona, like, I think Pat Coogan is like, I think he gonna be the starter for the Tennessee Titans at center, because at the end of the day, Lloyd Cushenberry never really played a lot with that 55, almost $60 million contract from Rand. Then Corey Levin, when he played, Corey Levin played better than Cushenberry, in my opinion. So it's like, I mean, what are we really asking him to do? Really don't have any holes long term. Just need a left tackle for real, probably running back or tight end. I think tight end is fine. I think running back is fine for now. I would like to get Najee Harris, but bro, left tackle is going to be the first pick for the Tennessee Titans next year, unless like we fall into a pick where somebody we just can't pass on. So I mean, if Hutchinson make the team and they go get another veteran corner, I feel good with that 7-man rotation. He said JJ could end up being our Kyle Vanden Bosch. I'm telling you, people sleep on Keldrick Falk. People don't know what Keldrick Falk was coming in on the draft board until this year Auburn just fell off a cliff. You gotta think. Keldrick Falk and I forget the boy's name, but he went to the Raiders. The two edges from Auburn both went high in the draft. So it just was Auburn, bro. You know, like, you got an edge like him, playing him inside just a lot instead of just letting him dominate on the outside. Just like Mykel Williams to the Niners last year. I think Mykel and Nick Bosa is healthy for the 49ers this year. I think their defense is going to be a lot better. Jags got worse. They had their shot last season. They really did. Devin Lloyd going to hurt them. Like, people don't know how good Devin Lloyd is. Broncos defense is vicious. And that's the first game we played on the road. We had the lead until Brian Callahan just wet the bed. Draft is fun, but the real question is your highest rank in Apex. Man, I haven't played Apex or Madden in 2026. I just want to see our line play smooth and in sync. I think that has to do a lot with the offense. Titans was in a lot of third and longs all last year because Brian Callahan's offense was orbit motion bubble screens to Tyler Lockett with Chimere DK blocking. It's just not sufficient. He said the Titans have a lot of former Giants players. Not as many former Titans was on the Patriots last year, and they went to the Super Bowl. Only when you were Tennessee Titan that's having players from the coaches, guys that understand their system come in. Nobody says that. And while we doing that, let me say this. A lot of people owe Amy Adams Strunk a big apology. She got a lot of dirt thrown on her name, talking about she didn't want to trade Tony Pollard to the Patriots because of Mike Vrabel, and she did this because of Mike Vrabel. Now this story come out that Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini had this affair, which I don't care about the affair that much because it ain't like no Epstein level of stuff where I would like have a moral compass ticking. But the fact that she got kids named after Vrabel, and they had this scandal where she did have insider information on things to do with the AJ Brown trade and the trade that didn't happen between the Titans and the Patriots this past season, just throwing smut on the Titans every chance they got. When the Titans made their changes in the front office, how these same people tried to make it look so bad. People need to apologize to Amy Adams Strunk because there's got to be a lot of resolve knowing the dirt and secrets of people and holding it to the vest and not just airing them out when people throwing dirt on your name, throwing rocks and hiding their hands. So for as much as they want to troll Amy Adams and say she this and that, I need them same people to have that same energy for Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel, because when the Sharon Moore story broke in Michigan and all these stuff that happened, Bobby Petrino having a wreck on the back of the motorcycle, you know, Patino in an Italian restaurant, you know, what's my boy, Ohio State former coach, coached at Florida, Jacksonville Jaguars coach. I can't think of his name right now, but I know when he was finger popping in the club when they was 0-5, I think Mike Vrabel got to get that same treatment if we being fair. Coaching is for sure going to be better. I want to see Slater or Carmona win their job at right guard. Oh, for sure. But if you brought Kevin Zeitler back 1 year, $5 million, I wouldn't be mad. And just let them grow and take over that role. I would like none of us, as much money as the Titans got right now sitting in cap space, nobody would be mad about an extra safety, cornerback, or offensive lineman picked up for depth. Nobody would be. Said Rams took Ty Simpson. I told y'all the Rams was going to get Ty Simpson 6 months ago. Y'all just didn't listen to me. Y'all didn't listen to my reasoning behind it. That the Rams are going to do with Ty Simpson what the coach should have did with Anthony Richardson. When you like somebody's talent and you draft them in the first round at quarterback, put them behind a veteran so they don't have to run in and get their neck broke and get their confidence ripped out. It worked with Jordan Love coming in behind Aaron Rodgers on the MVP season. with McVay, LaFleur, Andy Reid. It's some guys out there I trust their decision making on when they pick somebody they like. I don't think they've been wrong. McVay went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. He won one with Matt Stafford. Been close almost every year with Matt Stafford. And it'll be the same if he got Ty Simpson. McVay, LaFleur. Look what LaFleur did with Malik Willis. Brian Callahan couldn't get him to take the snap right. he was undefeated as a starter for the Green Bay Packers and got a huge deal to go to Miami. Sometimes it's the coaching, man. Look at Geno Smith and Sam Darnold when they left the Jets. John was good. I don't know much, but he was picked in the same round as Jackson Slater. Who is that, Joe? Who you don't know much about? Watched his film. He need a lot of work. Talking about Carmona. This the thing, like if Jackson Slater playing ahead of him or you got Zietler, I'm not expecting Carmona to come out week 1 and be the starter at right guard. Volson played 3 years as a starter in Cincinnati, and you got other guys there that, like Carmona is a project. This how it should work. Guys should just be loading up late round talent and coach them up. Because I said I thought we would pick Carmona or DJ Humphrey from Texas because they got the size and athleticism. They just need to be coached in the right scheme. Urban Meyer. I don't know why I couldn't think of Urban Meyer's name. You know what I'm saying? Urban Meyer was finger popping in the club. They always make light of everybody else. If the Titans did if Mike Vrabel and his guy Anaruda anything would have happened and he was in Nashville, do you know how big a story this would be? They would be pushing this down your throat like COVID-19 numbers. Man, 1 hour and 2 minutes in the shop, and we ain't even got into the Titans offseason and draft because I've did the other teams. But now let's get into the Tennessee Titans offseason and draft and why I think that the Titans and the Texans clearly had the best off seasons in the AFC South. Let's pull it up because I'm a fair guy, man. I want to give the other teams in the division a shot. Cam Ward, believe it or not, Mitch Trubisky is an upgrade over Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle. They were god awful. And I like, bro, at least Trubisky was a former first round pick, along with Will Levis and Hendon Hooker. Quarterback room looking better than last year. Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, Nick Singleton, Khalil Mullins, Michael Carter. Running back room looking better. Carnell Tate, Alec Aomaner, Wan'Dale Robinson, Chim DK, Calvin Ridley, Xavier Restrepo, KJ Osborne, Tyron Montgomery. I expect Lance McCutcheon, Mason Kinsey, and Restrepo to find themselves to the practice squad, though. Gunnar Helm, Daniel Bellinger, Colin Granson, and Jaron Kannick. Tight end room looking better. I think with Chig being tight end 1, but being the worst blocker of the tight ends on the team, I think it made it hard to use Chig for his true talent. I love Chig. Chig didn't miss a game in 4 years. Was the best yard after catch receiver threat on the Titans. But Chig would have needed to be on the team like this with Helm, Bellinger, and Chig. But Jaron Kannick is going to play that move tight end role of a guy that, I don't know if y'all seen the tape. This dude is a track star too at his size. So he'll be the new move tight end, him and DMR. Colin Granson, I feel like, will just be another veteran body in case they didn't get these young guys that are faster and more athletic. Dan Moore with Deculus backing him up. Peter Skoronski with Carmona behind him. Slotman, Pat Coogan, Volson, Slater, Dellinger. Maybe Zietler comes back. Who knows? J.C. Latham, Emil Wagner, Crenshaw Dixon at tackles. But it's really going to come down to, like, This does not look formidable unless they go out and bring Zietler back, or if Jackson Slater just win that role. Now, if you got Jackson Slater and Pat Coogan in here with JC, Pete, and Dan Moore, it's gonna be more of Daboll, his play calling to keep pressure off the line, to be in a lot of third and long situations. Obviously, the defense got better. John Franklin Myers, Jeffrey Simmons, Jordan Elliott, Solomon Thomas, Keldrick Falk, Jermaine Johnson, Jacob Martin, Femi will be back, Jalen Harrell. A few of these guys gonna get cut. Cedric Gray, Mahmoud Diabate, Cody Barton, Anthony Hill Jr. I think Shaw Banks will take Mousy's spot as the fifth linebacker and be on special teams. This dude is a heavy hitter. If you went in my stream to see his tape, dude's a heavy hitter. With James Williams Sr. Converted safety to linebacker, I think his role is going to grow in Salah's defense. I think he's going to get more snaps this year. Cornerback, obviously the revolving door we had last year, Cordell Flott, Alontae Taylor, Marcus Harris, Josh Williams, and that's where we need more depth at. I like Hook, Kevin Winston Jr., Tony Adams. Jarrett Reed hasn't shown much more than special teams. I think some of these guys, maybe it's a talent issue, but I like to see Latrell McCutcheon and Bishop Fitzgerald make it in these supplemental roles, and then go get some veterans at corner and safety to go behind that. Tommy Townsend at punter will be better than what we had last year, and then Joey Sly will be a weapon for us this year with the big leg. Now let's look at the Tennessee Titans draft. Obviously, we went over it before. Bro, why is it not showing the Titans draft? Bro, that's really crazy. Teams. Why is it not showing the Titans draft? Bro, that is weird. Okay, here we go. For those that don't know, Carnell Tate, Keldrick Falk, Anthony Hill Jr. I think the first three guys we got, Keldrick Falk and Anthony Hill, I didn't think we'd be in position to get these guys, but I say like three, the best receiver in the draft, and then for you to get one of the best edge rushers in the draft and one of the best linebackers, that's crazy. I was hard up on getting Pat Coogan and Nick Singleton. Jackie Marshall is a twitchy interior lineman. I think we're going to see the CJ Ravenels and some of the bigger Tavondre Sweat type of nose tackle guys phase out, and more guys like this. Dude is real twitchy and very athletic as an interior tackle. And then Fernando Carmona, we've already seen, like, he's the one guy that maybe this pick should have been a cornerback or a safety at that spot, but nobody's going to complain as much as people cried about interior offensive line that he might turn into a starter, because him and DJ Humphrey was the two offensive guards I thought could work their way into being coached up in the future out of this draft. And then I knew we would go for a move tight end. I've been looking at a lot of different tight ends. Obviously, Trigg and Daquan Wright was on the board, but then I didn't do my homework because this Jerry Kanik, this dude is a tight end that has receiver speed, and he's a linebacker, so he's got built-in special teams. And what does Unc always say about guys coming into the league? You better be able to play special teams if you want to get a roster spot. Titans don't have fullbacks on their roster, so having a guy like Jaron Kanik that could be their fourth tight end and play special teams, along with Khalil Mullins, can be the fourth running back. Both of these guys was linebackers at Michigan and Oklahoma, so built-in serviceable roles for these guys. Thought the Titans had back-to-back good drafts. And I thought, when you look at what the Tennessee Titans was able to add to their defense in the offseason with Jermaine Johnson, the trade with Tavondre Sweat, picking up Tony Adams, Alontae Taylor, Cordell Flott, Josh Williams. Can y'all believe that so many players that I had on my wish list wind up becoming Titans. And just seeing where the roster is now compared to where the roster was at to end last season, it's night and day. Coaching staff from Brian Callahan, Nick Holes. I thought Denard Wilson and Bones Fossil was the only guys really holding it down when it comes to the coaches and coordinators. Luke Stocker was able to step up and see his value in the tight end room, but Robert Saleh, Brian Daboll, Gus Bradley, White Cotton, coaches that retaining Bones Fossil, coaches that we didn't think we could get. We got players that we didn't think we could get. We got guys that were on the big board. We drafted and picked up. Now, give me my undrafted free agent 5, my special 5, and give me a couple veterans on defense. If you wanted to be luxury picks, Najee Harris at running back and Kevin Zeitler back at right guard. And I promise Unc will shut up. Because that'll leave the 53 looking kind of spicy to start this upcoming year off. I'm excited. I like what they've done, but I also have to be honest and say the Patriots was a 3 or 4 win team and went to the Super Bowl. The Bears was at the bottom of their division. People wrote off Caleb Williams, and they won the NFC North division. Sometimes those things happen. The Broncos gutted their entire team and drafted Bo Nix with Sean Payton and made the playoffs, and then could have been in the Super Bowl this year. At the end of the day, like, a quick turnaround can happen, but I'm not saying the Titans can go from 3-14 back-to-back years to winning the AFC South, but I will say they had a better offseason roster-wise than the Jaguars and the Colts, and that the Texans, I think, on paper, are the favorite to win the division. But the Tennessee Titans got everything in their power to play 500 football and get back to some winning ways that could translate and give hope to the future. Because I think they got the right coaching staff. I think they get the new stadium, the new uniforms. They got the right quarterback. They got the right defensive leader, and they got a good coaching staff that everybody feels confident in. Draft was solid, A-. Carmona and Kanik. Okay, I watched Kanik, wasn't impressed, but since you put it like that, it makes sense. I mean, just think, late round pick, you picking a guy in Mullins last year and Kanik this year, who are going to be like Mullins is a short yardage back and a former linebacker that plays special teams built in. Kanik is probably the second or third fastest tight end in this draft, and he played linebacker at Oklahoma for 3 years. So he's going to be playing the move tight end role that DMR and Chig played last year, which is the fast guy. You move him in motion. Sometimes he block, sometimes he leaks out, and he plays special teams. So with a 7th round pick, guys that most, like Colton Dowell was a 7th round pick. That's like, you throwing away picks at that point. When you get somebody like that with a team that doesn't traditionally have a fullback, you're going to have a 4th tight end. And I can't see a reason where David Martin Robinson and and the other tight end that we got, I forget it. His name escapes me at times. Colin Granson, like Jaren Kanik should be the 3rd or 4th tight end in that role. And then Carmona is like, when we picked the players we picked, when we went Tate, Keldrick Falk, Anthony Hill, people say, well, where's the interior offensive line? Then you draft them, and then we're saying we're going to dock them for drafting a right guard. But if Jackson Slater or Carmona turns into a starter, or that's your depth at right guard, then winds up being a great pick. Finna be in the Super Bowl. AFC South wide open. Texans O-line have to hold up. But you need to go back and watch the beginning when I did the Texans. Texans got Keelan Rutledge, a guard that we all wanted at pick 35. And then they went and got Wyatt Teller, the guard that we wanted to replace Kevin Zeitler. So Texans and they got Caden McDonald at D tackle to go along with that nasty defense. Like, Texans have done just fine fixing that O-line. You say bring back Derrick Henry, then why would the Ravens do that? I say, James, cut, like, it. I've been saying, go get Najee Harris cheap and try to find a way to move on from Pollard. And go Najee Harris, Nick Singleton, Tajay Spears, Khalil Mullins, and Michael Carter as the fifth. Because if not, regardless of what Pollard do this year, they're not going to bring him back. He gone, him and Spears. So I can't be convinced that Tony Pollard has more talent than Najee Harris. Najee first four seasons in the league was 1,000 yards, and he played with Daboll at Alabama. So Coach Danny Dimes come back healthy to play. Yeah, you need to go back and watch the beginning shit. You way behind. Yeah, you need to go back and check the beginning, man. That's an hour and 15 minutes in the shop, man. This is a late night. I had the juice to do it today. I felt good about it. This one will go up. I'll edit it and post it up. Man, make sure that if y'all got any questions, any comments when y'all watch it back, drop them in the comments. I'll put it part of the next day's shop talk. We definitely got into a lot of good topics. I thought this was one I really wanted to do. If y'all want to, I think after we do this one, I might go into the NFC South. I'm really intrigued by the NFC South as a division. For some reason, I feel like they kind of connected to the AFC South and us. The Panthers had a great offseason. The Falcons, I'm interested to see what they do. They're always interesting, the Falcons. The Saints, I thought, had a really good offseason and draft. And then the Buccaneers, life after Mike Evans, future Hall of Famer, to see what the Buccaneers do. Doubling down with Keontae Scott and Reuben Bain. With them losing Jamel Dean and Mike Evans. So it'll be interesting to see what I might go to NFC South tomorrow, and that might be the division we're going in. But today, big winners, Texans, Titans, big losers, Colts, and for sure the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, that's been it for today, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all, man. Be blessed. God first in the chat. We out.
Subscribe, like, comment, share. Tap into the daily uploads at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you missed the live streams, we got picture in picture. And if I don't get to any questions during the live streams or the pods, drop them in the comments. I'll make it part of the weekly mailbag. If you're following on the blue, smash those reactions. I know you're OG. Hit that like, comment, share. Tap into the daily content that is the shop. If you're new to the shop, definitely should be tapped in on the green. No ads, up to 50 emotes free for just being a follower. You do not have to be a supporter to unlock picture in picture, late night streams. Follow us on Kick. We also live on Twitch. Look out for the drops, as well as if you have Amazon Prime, it's free $99 to sub to the channel once a month. Don't let Jeff Bezos stick that money back in his pocket. If you don't use it on the shop, use it on another content creator that you like. I still call it Twitter, but follow us on X. We tweet back. If you missed the daily shop talks, make sure you tap in for the late night cap on the purple and the green. The Discord is always open. Outside of subs, donos, and cash apps, is also another way to support the content. That's by grabbing a trucker hat, a bandana, hoodies, classic barbershop, Five Nation, right out of the official merch store on Tactic, formerly known as Geeks